If you or someone you know is dealing with mental health issues or disabilities, and you are having suicidal thoughts, or maybe you're just dealing with some emotional issues pertaining to bullying, you are not alone in this. Please reach out and get help. If you are having suicidal thoughts or any type of thought of harming yourself, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. And if for some reason or for any reason you don't feel safe or strong enough to contact them, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my social media feeds. I am more than willing to do this fight with you, and I will be there with you every step of the way. Now, let's talk football. What's up, Pride Nation? Welcome back to another Field Review podcast show where we talk all things Detroit Lions. Obviously, I'm your host, Luke G. And you see the thumbnail, you see the headline. I am not alone, people. I'm here with a new and up-and-coming YouTuber who 100% lives in my Discord and destroys every argument with facts and numbers to go along with its facts. I am talking about one Mr. Analytics. Dan, what is going on with you, sir?
I'm pretty good. I'm just excited to really be here. It's an honor.
Listen. I'm excited to talk ball. First of all, the weekend was long. Okay, that was the first part. And second of all, it was hot, and I don't do too well with heat. Okay, and so when opportunity came for us to talk a little football, I was beyond excited. Okay, so if you are wondering how to get connected to his channel, it is linked in the description, people. Make sure you check that out because it is linked in the description. And if you're trying to figure out how to reach out to me, there's all my social media feeds right there. Okay, it's right there. You just simply reach out, and that's how I get you on the show. I'm trying to fulfill obligations that I had already pre-planned before I lay my friend to rest. And so this is one of them, and I could not be more excited to do this. And then after that, I'll try to get back to normal and pick it up. And I got a few other people I'm going to bring going. So let's see who's in the building today, Mr. What you want me to call you for short? What you want me to call you?
You can just call me Dan.
All right, Dan. I'm going to call you Dan for short. Even better. All right, bam. Let's see who's in the building. We got CJ, Carl Campbell, Top Dog. Ooh, this is a new one. Manny DC5. Okay, one pride, baby. Let's get it. We got Ghost Gunner. Let's see. What did he say? It says, "Hey, Luke, do you see how big and look compared to Levy?" Check Lions IG story. Brad Holmes just drafted Aaron Donald Jr. Uh-oh. I might have to check that out. We got Looney Tune, BD Buster. We also have John Bradshaw's in the building. Big West Kevin. Lion King, AB, Mars is Landon, Dre Barnes, Can. Let's see. Hard Work Dedication, Fred Jackson. Hatter House 710, JGB. Let me see. Make sure I miss somebody. Chris Watts. Rams House is in the building, which me and him got something coming up because we got to talk about some football. I love when he comes on because it's so entertaining. And then we have John Kapler in the building. We have John Jones in the building. Bulgarius, Sweat Bread, Craig Bevins. I hope I said that right. Brian Farrell. Make sure I hit everybody. If you are already in here, please hit that like and subscribe button. I'm not going to promise you that I'm not going to rant. What I can tell you is that I'm getting to a point now where I'm just getting entertained by certain things that happens when it comes to the Lions. And I think it's there where we're going to pick up. Okay. So right off the gate, Dan, what we're going to start off with is this question. The national media's coverage of our head coach, Dan Campbell. Now, I don't know if you were familiar with this, Dan, but Joy Taylor has some nice words for him. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. Didn't she say she wanted better for us or something?
She wanted better for us, and she apologized to the fans, but she also defended her comments because, she wants so much better for us. Yeah. Okay. And did you hear what Mike Valenti had to say? That guy that's on 97.1 a ticket that can't help himself? That guy.
No, I did not hear what he said.
Oh, let's go with that one. So on Friday, Mike Valenti had his expression, all right? And he had no problems joining in on what I call the failed witch hunt. That was the mainstream media. He says when he goes 2-15 this year, that stuff ain't going to be cute. He says, we had this before. We had Rob Marinelli. We had Marty Mortywig on a Harley and Oakley's and driving away from practice. We had the Terminator, Jim Swartz. Everything the Lions coach is a bit. It says, this is a cartoon. Dan Campbell doesn't look right running an NFL team right now. You're not going to see Nick Saban in a space helmet. You're not going to see Bill Belichick talking about kneecap biting. He goes on to say, someone in the front office needs to inform Campbell that the organization has had a long history of cartoon character head coaches. His co-host, Rico Beard, does not believe that this will occur since any publicity will be viewed as good publicity, since everybody's already aware the team will struggle in 2021. Okay, so Tim Hutchinson in the building, James Harrington, Izzy 777, Benjamin Foe, Jason Smith. Let me see. Will Dirks. Make sure I ain't forget nobody, man. Marcel Edwards. I'll make sure I hit all y'all, man. I'm in a good mood. Dan, let's talk about this. What do you make of this national media's view of the Lions head coach? All of this is because he wore a racing helmet before he started his press conference. What do you make of it?
I just think it's trying to get headlines, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, no Lions coach has ever been like a Dan Campbell. I mean, I don't think there's been a single coach that's brought this much passion, this much energy to Lions football. I mean, you got Jamal Williams coming here for $6 million a year, just for $6 million, and you got people who are out here like energized. I mean, especially considering the last regime, where they literally got in trouble for laughing. This is so much better than what it was before, and there's never has exactly been a perfect replica of a Dan Campbell. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say they're going to physically harm another player other than Joe Judge saying they're going to knock people's teeth out, which people didn't really care about that. I think this is a coach who's shown that he can bring competitiveness to a team just like he did in Miami. I'm very excited for this guy because he's working with players. He's actually getting involved, and everyone's saying they love him. Jared Goff had one conversation with him and said he was excited for the future. I mean, that just tells me a lot about how good of a coach this guy is, considering the fact he's gotten everyone to be motivated by him immediately.
Yeah, see, I originally wanted to go off. I originally wanted to lose it. And then it dawned on me why I'm so excited that they're talking about him. You know why? It's because for the first time, we are doing things the Lions way, not the Patriots way, not the Titans way, not the Saints way, not the Bucks way, the Lions way. He does not want to be your prototypical head coach. He ain't the first one to have antics as a head coach and have success in doing it. He's just not. Okay? I don't remember Mike Valenti being so hyped up and saying that they're a clown after Matt Patricia goes off on the media, right? Like, I don't remember that. I don't remember nobody clowning when Mike Ditka sits up there with a cigar in his mouth after trading his whole entire draft away for Ricky Williams. Where was that energy at, right? Where was the media at on that energy? Where was the energy at for the media when Jim Mora basically became a GIF in a matter of seconds? Playoffs? Are you kidding me? You don't talk to me about playoffs. Where was that same energy? I'm trying to figure out what is it that they want. If he stands up there like a robot, then, he's too robotic. He has no emotion. And if you just look at this team, they are taking on the persona of the head coach. And they should. They are supposed to. How can anyone be upset with this? I saw fans, Dan. I saw fans on Twitter who said things like, what an idiot. Only a meathead wears a race helmet there. And I'm thinking, what's the difference between him wearing a race helmet to promote him being the grand marshal at a race versus somebody wearing a shirt with Quicken Loans on the damn shoulder? What's the difference? Right? It's still advertisement. So what is the difference? Or when you look in the back, you ever look in the back right there, how it says Rocket Mortgage? What's the difference between his helmet and that background that says Rocket Mortgage? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm trying to figure this out. What is the point of getting upset and having this media storm about trying to compare him to Nick Saban? Nick Saban bummed out of the NFL. You want to tell me about Bill Belichick? Fine. Bill Belichick is the only person you can name that with. Okay? Fine. I don't want him to be Bill Belichick. We had a guy who tried that. It didn't work. Would you agree with that, Dan?
Oh yeah, it didn't work. No team can replicate their past team well. Mike Vrabel had to change things for the Titans, and they did way better. So I don't know. You keep talking.
No, I'm saying it's just one of the things that you look at and you say to yourself, what more do they want? And we as fans should not be upset. We shouldn't. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't be upset. We should relish in the fact that they're talking like this. Listen, think about this, right? Just follow my logic for a minute, Dan. Follow my logic. It's already been said that the Lions are going to have the first overall pick, correct?
Yeah.
They've said in the mainstream media that we have the worst defense going into 2021, correct?
Yeah.
We have the second worst offense going into 2021, correct?
Correct.
Nobody is picking us to do anything in the division, and they expect for us to finish last, correct?
Correct.
So what the hell is wrong with a head coach having the ability to do something that, one, promotes something that he's going to do, two, allows for it to show that it's not so serious here. You can still have fun, but know that you got a job to do. What is wrong with this picture?
I really don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, he even takes it off like the moment the real interview even starts. It's just he just takes it off. It's like promoting. It's no different than advertising. I mean, he could literally have worn a Grand Marshal shirt and it would have been no different. So I don't know. I don't see different.
Or let's take it a step further, Dan. What if they do go 2-15? What is him wearing the helmet have to do with them going 2-15?
Literally nothing. I mean, if he wore that helmet or not, that would not have changed anything about the team's mentality.
Nothing. It doesn't change anything. The only thing it does is this. There's one common thing that I noticed when Patricia got here that I noticed is different with Dan Campbell. When Patricia was here, everybody says he knows the X's and O's, blah, blah, blah. He's really smart, blah, blah, blah. They mostly were Patriot formers, right? But this team is different. Everybody like, I get to be myself here. I never had so much fun. There are other people who went to other teams and like, we're having fun. I actually watched. Just because I went to see Kerryon Johnson in practice, I watched the Eagles OTAs, and they're in the stadium blasting music, doing their single drills, having competitions amongst each other, and having all kind of fun. Nobody's killing the Eagles head coach for doing this. Where's that same energy at is what I'm trying to figure out. This is what I'm confused about. Like when you look at the mainstream media attack on this head coach, what thoughts come to your mind?
I just think it's honestly kind of like, I mean, you have to be like a casual to really like, you have to like barely look at the Lions and all you see is the record. If you're going to look at what happened to the Lions this last couple of years, because if you've like zealously followed the Lions like I had this last 3 years, you know the main issue was not talent. It was I would say the Patricia regime had more talent than the Caldwell regime had, and yet we still suck. The main issue was culture. Nobody was motivated. Players were saying they couldn't laugh, they couldn't make jokes. The star players were being like, I guess, pushed away from the team, such as Slay and Quandre Diggs, and no player was ever really being respected. Even our legendary offensive players, such as Golden Tate. Nobody here is motivated. They wanted to do. The only player who ever seemed to be motivated here were Patricia's Patriot guys and Danny Amendola and Trey Flowers. But when you got Dan Campbell immediately coming in and he's motivating, he's getting the energy in, players are wanting to come here and they're excited to be here. They're not just saying, "Oh, I'm here. I'm glad to be." They're like, "No, we're gonna go win games, man." Like that. That's such a different mentality. Because when Matt Patricia was here, he would say, "Well, from a certain viewpoint." Mm-hmm. You have to look at game one or something like that.
Go ahead.
That's how he would talk.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's how he would go. And then Jim Caldwell, with all of his, I have a bit of respect for Caldwell due to the fact he actually gave us some success, but he rarely had any energy. He didn't really blow up. I never really saw a player ever get motivated by him during a locker room speech. I mean, that's the reason. Like, I feel like we lost games after halftime was because nobody was really motivated. And that's what Campbell brings compared to Patricia and Caldwell. He brings motivation, energy, and people will criticize him for his X and O's, but he brought in an experienced offensive coordinator in Anthony Lynn, and he brought in veteran coaches such as Don Capers and Todd Wash for the defensive side, and he brought in a young upcoming defensive coordinator in Aaron Glenn. I like Campbell and what he's done so far. I don't really think there should be any criticism on this guy until like his career's over here in Detroit.
Well, here I'm gonna give you some fun stuff right here. Right now, this comes from Smitty Cell 19. He says we talking about 30 seconds of helmet wearing. Let that sink in for a minute, right? But I'm gonna show you something else. The Dallas Cowboys under Jimmy Johnson. They first year, Jimmy Johnson was doing all kind of things in the media. He would talk just about anything. He would have practices. He even had a practice where I can't make this up. He had a practice where MC Hammer, Ice Cube, all these different people he brought into the practice. There was even one rumor I think I read once where he brought in like Playboy bunnies on the sideline, and it was making the players run down there and back. Just little things like that. No media coverage. No hate, no nothing, right? But this guy puts on a freaking, first of all, the kneecap thing. Now you want to say you hate the kneecap biting. It's a metaphor. Like, somebody be like, I'm going to drop a dime on you. Nobody really believes that a dime is getting dropped on you, right? Or you want to run one. When nobody really understands, especially if it's a basketball court, nobody thinks that you're talking about actual race. This is just ridiculous, overblown, inflated hating because it was a slow media day, right? That's what it is. Now, we got one guy saying when they go 2-15, it ain't going to be funny. Well, we're going to see how funny or how much you're laughing when they win more than 5 games, when they win more than 7 games. Then we'll see how much it is, right? Yes, MC Hammer, and he was popular back then. Don't be sad tripping. He was still a little bit unknown, but they still brought him in on some of his practice. And I don't know if y'all remember the wrestler Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He brought him in for culture change and to create it. And then he used that piece of his players to build around it. I just use people and try to figure out where is the energy coming from. So I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Not every team on our schedule who was good last year will be good this year. That's just the NFL for you. 100% facts. 100% facts. Let's see. Now I don't want to spend too much time on this because it was irritating. It was very irritating to me because Mike Valenti goes on to say says that the honeymoon period is starting to slowly fade off, and at some point we got to start seeing wins. We haven't even touched the season yet.
We haven't had mini camp.
Right? Can we get to mini camp first? Can we do that? And then get to training camp and so forth and so on? Can we get to a preseason game? Like, seriously. He's already gunning it down, and it makes me wonder why. What is the point? Right? So it's just one of the things I look at. Now, let's kind of switch it up a little bit because obviously, I find this funny, but you in the chat, as well as you, Dan, are you really bothered by the things that Campbell is doing or how he's acting? Are you really that bothered by it? Or do you find it a breath of fresh air? How are you feeling about Dan Campbell in terms of how he's been acting and carrying himself?
I personally really, really like it. He's another person in the chat put this perfectly well is Campbell is like the combination of Schwartz and Caldwell. He's got that personality, but he still motivates the player. Because also, I also believe Rams House also said this a while ago. You don't have to just be fiery in order to be a leader like Tony Dungy. You have to be able to like be motivated. You have to be able to lead your team and your players. And people are obviously doing this. Jared Goff is like, we're going to the playoffs. I don't see this as a rebuild. Everyone's out here just like ready to go, ready to play games and play football and just go out and win. No player has ever said, "Oh, I'm here for the contract," or I'm going to take it on from game one. Everyone's out here fiery, passion. You got Levi Onwuzurike who said he wants to put people on their butts and everything. Like everyone's out here just like ready to go, and they're ready to just destroy anyone who's ever in their way. And I'm here for it, man. Like when we had Patricia I don't remember a single time being inspired other than Matthew Stafford saying he's going to win MVP. There's nothing ever there during the Patricia era. And when players are being motivated, that's how they do better. And I don't know if we'll ever like start out amazing, but I think a good example is Joe Judge with the Giants. I mean, they sucked really bad before him, but then Joe Judge is out here like, we're going to knock people's teeth out. And then they went out and went competitive for the entire year. And sure, they went 6-10, but that isn't the whole story. They were out here like nobody, they weren't just a checkoff anymore because they would go in surprise and nearly beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm just thinking Campbell is going to lead us by being both a coach, but also being having energy, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I'm in love with it. I'm in love with it that he's making people uncomfortable. I'm happy to know that his simple stuff is making so many fans and people uncomfortable. How can you be uncomfortable is beyond me, but I can tell you this much, that under no circumstance should you be sad about what is going on in Allen Park. In fact, you should be excited that they don't like it. The fact that they can't find anything good to talk about is because they're not invested. So you know what they did? They saw the first headline, plucked that, and said, oh, this is making headways on social media. Let's turn up on it. And then Joy, she went out there and added her 2 cents, and I think she's entitled to her opinion. But a lot of what she was saying that, oh, well, I saw him for the Miami. Yeah, that was his first time. That was his first time being in a head coach position, and he did it as an interim head coach. He was not the head coach. It wasn't his team that he put together. This is a guy who does not lack confidence. I'm going to tell you, the first time that I knew that he didn't lack confidence is when he hired people who could take his job. You don't see too many coaches doing that. You don't get too many head coaches coming in and hiring people who can take their job. And that, to me, is the sign that we're doing things the Lions way. Everybody went out there and said the Lions were taking a wide receiver with that pick. I'm screaming at the TV for an offensive tackle. And what does he do? Take a tackle. Now, here I go saying we don't need a D tackle because I felt that we can make what we had work. Not in his eyes. He said, nope. If I can't get pressure from my guys on the ground, you're not that useful to me. And so he goes and drafts 2 D tackles. And so he says, you know what? I'm going to build this thing up from the ground up. I'm going to give you trenches. I'm going to then go to the next levels and keep building upon that and work my way up to the top. This is the Lions way. Now, let's say if he go out there and he just bum as a head coach. The one thing I always say to people is can you leave something that I can grasp? When Quin left, it was 9-7 wasn't good enough, right? I got it. I totally got it, right? And even Patricia, when Patricia left, what I grasped is this. You got to be yourself, okay? If you can't be yourself, then you're not going to be the best version of you. With him, if he leave, I understand one thing and one thing only. You better have fun and do it at the highest level while getting the job done. And that's what it boils down to, right? Like just having fun and creating it. Now, Rams House says, I've watched the media suck off Sean McVay for 4 years straight, and we've gotten progressively worse. The media is so bad at this. They thought Adam Gase was going to be a star both times. Oh, I forgot all about that. Oh, yeah, he was going to be the next Bill Belichick or the next great play caller, right? Like, that's what they were saying. And to me, I just don't want them to like him now. I want them to keep that same energy. You already think he's gonna suck this year. What can he do wrong at this point? If your view is he's gonna be 2-15 or he's just gonna have the first overall pick, what difference does it make if he put a helmet on to promote a race he's the grand marshal in? Who cares? I just don't get it. Let's talk about this then, because we got to get into some stuff. All right.
Yes,
so obviously, it's getting towards the mini caps. So my question comes very simple to you: who should we keep our eye on in the coming weeks that can make this team and make you say, "Oh yeah, I'm happy he made it"? Who is that person we should keep an eye on?
I kind of have a little bit of a tie here, but I'm pretty big on Will Harris and Cephas. in terms of
Okay.
like kind of those guys, because everyone's kind of like looking at TJ Hawkinson and Tyrell Williams and Swift and even our kind of our rookies. But like I realized we barely addressed the safety position. And in fact, all we got was Dean Marlowe. And so I think Will Harris is going to have to be the player. We're going to have to watch and hope that he does something, because I believe Tracy Walker will go back to 2019 form. But Will Harris has been pretty bad in his time with the Lions. And if that safety core doesn't end up being good, I think it could really cost us a lot of games. And in terms of Tavai, linebacker has been a big issue with us as well. And I'm hoping that he can at least return to his rookie season form where he was at least a good run stuffer, because run game has just really destroyed us. But I don't know. I don't really know who per se I want to say is that guy, but like Cephas, like I really love this guy. I even did a video on him. Like he's great at contesting. He had the best contested catch rate in college out of all the receivers drafted before him in his draft class, which was over guys like Justin Jefferson. So I think he has potential. And I don't know, just there's a lot of small pieces I'm very excited about. And I had a discussion in Discord the other day. I'm really excited about the fact we're just good at everything. We've had stars, but I want us to be good at everything instead of just having the one star receiver like we did during the Schwartz era with Calvin Johnson. I want good at everything, and I think that these players can bring that to the team.
Yeah, see, I'm on board with you. Shout out to Psycho Lions fan. First of all, I love the name. He says, "Facts, Luke. Love the show. Appreciate you for coming in, showing support." I seen that dude showed up in the building. What up, though? Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. Cap Ice Cold, I see you. Nemesis Break. Let me see. Blue Jay Sarge. Matthew Stafford's burner account. Dolo Dynamite. I mean, make sure I don't forget nobody now. Southwest Lion in the building. Edward Molinda. I hope I said that right. Probably didn't. I apologize if I didn't. But yes, welcome to the show. Listen, I'm with you. I think you can keep an eye on them real closely, but there's two people that I had to really think about that our eyes really should be peeled on. And it's the first one is somebody who I think obviously is very obvious. It's just very obvious. Will Harris. You obviously got to look at Will Harris, in my opinion, because was he terrible because he's terrible, or was he terrible because it was Patricia? Right? Mm-hmm. But the second person that I have the most attention focused on is Big V. And the reason for that is because if Sewell is going to have any type of real legacy building steps, it's going to come from him having good guard play. He's not going to be able to beat every single one-on-one matchup in most cases. So you're going to need good guard play to help with some of those things. And to me, if I'm keeping my eye on anybody, when the pads get on, it is 100% Big V, and it has to be Will Harris. For me, Big V is on the last leg. If he don't get this together, this might be last chance you for him, for real. This is it. Where he could end up, probably out of football or just that stuck as a career backup, Will Harris, he can't afford not to have a good camp. He has to. He has to show that he understands what's going on, and if he don't, he's in trouble. Okay? 100%. Jack Fox would be an all-pro. Okay. All right. Let's see. Campbell is going to drive a Ford 250. That's cool with me. All right. But to me, when it comes to those two guys that I'm looking at, like, I just see the points where you can say to yourself, okay, these are people I should be looking at. Rams House says, great call, Luke. This is Big V's last real chance, and he has no more excuses. A good center to his left and a talented guy at the right. It's no reason why Big V should not succeed. It's no reason. I think he'll be better as a guard, but it's no reason why he should not succeed. And if he can't, then I know what it is, right? I know what the problem is. It's him. We can't blame the coach for this. It's him. You got 4 out of the 5 linemen. You're the only question mark. Do your job. It is what it is. And I hate to say it that way. Is there anybody that you could think of that the Lions fan base should probably look at a little bit harder because they can bring something to the table that we may have missed? I got one other wild card player, but I'm gonna see if you say this person before I say it. So, is there anybody else you can think of that they should have an eye on?
Amani Oriwariwe, or Amanio, as I like to say. The
See,
man was.
You made me so proud because I can't even pronounce his name, and you joined me in that boat, and I'm so happy and proud of you for joining me in the can't pronounce a person's name. Thank you for making me feel comfortable in my own skin. I just cannot appreciate you enough. Thank you. So you got Amani. That's the guy that you think that they really is a sleeper guy we should be paying attention to.
Mm-hmm. Well, he just had an underrated season last year. He had a 59% completion percentage and only 3 touchdowns allowed. He did better than guys like Darius Slay, Byron Jones, and Marcus Peters, and one other guy. I think it was Richard Sherman. And he had like the 32nd ranked defense with one of the worst pass rushes in the league, with only one good pass rusher in Romeo. That's pretty dang fantastic. And if you have an improved pass rush and another year under his belt with a better secondary, I'm very excited to see what this guy can do.
A lot of people was with you. They look. That dude live says, y'all better watch Amani, yo. You got Izzy77 that says, damn it, I was just about to type Amani. So great minds think alike, and that's where you want to be at. Dr. Detroit says the reason those numbers you seeing are like that is because the rookie was the easiest target last year. What do you say to that?
I don't really see that as a truth because Jeff Okudah was in and out of the year. He only played 9 games, and he was always like, he was never really facing the number 1 guy. So, and when Trufant and Amanio were out there, Amanio was facing the number 1. So if Amanio was supposedly bad or average, I feel like the number 1 receivers would have totally picked on Amanio, and they would have gone for that guy instead of just going for like Marquise Van with Scantling every play against Okudah. That's just my thing.
So for you, it's more about the evidence don't support it. It doesn't line up. Okay, listen, I'm picking up what you're putting down. If you are not sure who we are on with, and who's rocking with me, it is linked in the description as well as on the tag, and it's the Analytics Den. He's a new up and coming Lions YouTuber who is doing everything, yes, based on analytics, but with common sense. And we all know common sense ain't common, and it's very common with him. And that's the thing you want to know about him. He's got a few videos out as it is, but he's still working on his craft. So go and show him some love, Pride Nation. Make sure that you subscribe to him. It's linked in my description. You cannot get it wrong. I got to still link it as a feature channel on my channel. I'm working on that as we speak. And then what will happen is as he grows, you get to watch the caterpillar turn into the butterfly, and then from a butterfly into Godzilla, because I'm telling you, he will bring up points that I didn't even think about, like, oh, that's a good point. Oh, I didn't think about that. So make sure you show some love and support and subscribe to him and help him out, all right? Now, listen, because I've been waiting on this question all day. Should Lions fans be concerned about the Lions defense this year, heading into 2021? What do you think?
Depends on how healthy we are. I mean, if Tracy Walker gets hurt or something, and like our entire D line gets hurt again, then yeah, I would be a bit concerned, because we already have some question marks for this. But if the team's like healthy, and we're going week 1 for San Francisco, everyone's healthy, I'm in the middle. I don't think we're going to be fantastic. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be like some other YouTubers, and then we're going to be like, we're going to go from worst to first. I think we're going to be somewhere around like 18th in this regard. I think that's kind of more where we should be. I think we'll be solid, because first off, we have some questionable stuff. First off, if they really are moving Romeo Okwara to outside linebacker, I'm going to be a bit concerned, because I don't think he's ever played outside linebacker from what I've heard. Trey Flowers, he played outside linebacker in New England, but we're also playing a different system than New England. So I have those concerns. But the cornerback core is also kind of the question marks, because if Dunbar can be healthy, but I'm not so concerned by the fact I don't think they're going to lose us games like they did last year.
Well, that dude live says at Luke G and at the Analytics Den, we need to all collab tomorrow. Well, you got to hit me up, man. But I don't think I'm going to be taking too many collabs this week. As I said before, this is the chance that we're going to lay my friend to rest. So I probably won't be doing too many more, but this was already scheduled like a few weeks in advance, and I wanted to make sure I honored that because I really do appreciate what he do. But if you want to do a collab with all three of us, I will get that set up. I'm always down for some football talk, a little disagreement, a little bit of agreement. Either way it goes, as long as it's all about ball, let's get her done. So I'm with you. Now, here's the thing. I thought about this. Should we be concerned about the Lions defense? No, we were dead last. I'm going to say it again. We were dead last year, okay? We gave up a record 520 points. I think I might add 1 point in there, but that extra point is added for the simple fact that I had to watch the BS that was this Detroit Lions defense. And I wasn't worried about them then. But I'm going to tell you why I'm not worried about them now. I'm not worried about them now is because I actually believe more in Aaron Glenn than I did in Corey Undlin. And the reason I believe more in him is simply because of Don Capers. Don Capers is going to make sure that he's set up nice and beautiful to do his thing while still getting his feet wet and having some fun with it and allowing certain parts of the game to come to us. I don't think you should be concerned with it. Nobody is pegging us to be good as a defensive team. That's cool with me. Nobody is asking us to what's the word I want to use for this? Nobody's asking us to be the next Super Bowl contending team. There is no pressure on the Lions to do anything. All right. And it just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. Matthew Stafford Burner says, should Lions fans be concerned with our defense? Should a sick man see a doctor? And first of all, that's funny as hell. That's funny. But second of all, I don't see it as something that we should be concerned with. Why? Why are you concerned about the defense? Really? Tell me what your concern is. If you were in the camp that we was not going to be good anyway, what is your concern? They're still building from your perspective. But for me, I'm not concerned because I know we can't get worse than what we were last year. We set records last year. That won't happen this year. The other thing I know is a lot of the decision-making that was made was supposed to be so complex. And it's complex because he was trying to be so smart. Half the stuff that he was talking, he couldn't do himself. Not physically, not in his dreams, not in a coma, not even in death could he do these things that he was asking our players to do. The new coaching staff is not doing it. They're asking them to play within their skill set. That is an advantage to getting the most out of your players. Now, some people may argue different. Some people may say, no, forget that. It's 100%. You need to be worried about this. But my attitude to it is this. There is nothing to worry about when the only place you can go is up. You don't get to go and be 33. You can't be 34, right? You can only go up. And at that point, I don't have any panic or any concern for them. I just don't see it. Now, let's flip that to the offense because I did have a few concerns with the offense, surprisingly. I know, sounds shocking. But I'm going to toss it to Dan first. Dan, should the Lions fans be concerned with the Lions offense this season?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think we weren't really all that good last year, but I actually think we can honestly just be more explosive than people think. First off, I'm a believer in Jared Goff. Rams House converted me into Jared Goffism because this is how good that man can do.
You know what's funny? He'll come in there and drop so many little nuggets about the Rams and the head coach and Jared Goff, and I'd be like, only a fan would know that. Like only a fan would know that. So I can see how he can convert you. But go ahead.
So for one, if we're concerned about the QB situation, Goff plays with a good O-line. He's historically done well. 2017, 2018, when the O-line played well, he was arguably a top 5 quarterback. In 2020, when Goff was at first playing pretty dang well, the O-line was playing well. So and with the additions of Penei Sewell and hopefully a development year from Jonah Jackson, and as you stated earlier, hopefully Big V at least plays average, then I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to have a top 10 offensive line at worst, so long as Sewell is who people say he is. But in regards to Anthony Lynn, who's our new offensive coordinator, he had the 10th ranked offense when he was with Buffalo, and they weren't all that good at the time. But they also ran heavily with LaShawn McCoy. A good point that we have is, what do you think is the strength of our offense? Our running backs. I mean, I think you can probably agree with me on that one. Is Swift and Williams and Jamar Jefferson currently are our top backs. Two of those guys are proven to be good and at least get 4 yards per carry. I'm very excited that.
And I think they're going to still add Gurley, just FYI.
Yeah. Presumably, presumably they're going to add Gurley. So that's at least some solid backs in there, all vets, all bring in their kind of their own thing. And that means Anthony Lynn's going to use his strengths. The last regime did not use their strengths with Bevel. When TJ Hawkins would be popping off, he'd be like, okay, Hawk got his big 50-yard. All right, we'll start doing dink and dunks to the receivers and running backs. No, I think Lynn's going to start actually using his players. And he's done that repeatedly. I mean, he did that in LA when he went and got 2 top 10 offenses. He's done some good stuff. I mean, he's developed guys like Austin Eckler and made them pretty dang good running backs. He's made Keenan Allen have some pretty fantastic seasons. I'm very confident our offense is going to be good. I do not think it's going to be a huge regression. I'm sorry. I think with a good old line and good running game, and that's proven for Goff to do well. I mean, Jared Goff has made Robert Woods, who was a bust in Buffalo, look fantastic. Cooper Kupp was supposedly a reach, and no one's even heard of him, play well. Sammy Watkins, the last time he was good was with Goff. So I don't know. I think our offense is going to be fine.
Yeah, I look at it like this. Now, first of all, I left this message up there for so long from Fred Jackson, who says concerns is no games have been played yet. Yeah, there are things called concerns. See, when you have a concern, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to happen. It means that you are looking at something that you see could be a problem down the road. Like, for example, right? Like, you may have a house with a roof on it, and the roof may not be leaking now, but you got shingles flying off. You should be concerned that how long is it going to hold up before rain comes through? And so sometimes it don't have to have anything necessarily happen for you to have concern. But when it comes to the offense, here's what my concern is. There are a lot of parts that have to gel and learn how to gel together fast. And I get it. I totally get it. But that factor on top of the fact of the offensive coordinator trying to keep a game balanced is the part that I'm concerned about. Because if I was him, I would be like a kid in a candy store. I really would be like, yeah, let me try this and let me try that. And that's the part that I think I'm worried about. Like, it's, like I hope he don't get into this. Oh, I got this, I can do that. Oh, I got this, I'm gonna do that. I hope he can find balance, because without balance, you're gonna have problems. It just is what it is. You need to have balance, and that's what I'm looking at. And for me, that's the only real thing I have a problem with. Now, I'm not going to say the other word because, I'm going to knock on wood because I might even thought of it. But the other word that starts with an I, I'm not going to say that because that's always an issue for every single team. But I'm just saying, coming into it scheme-wise, can this offense be better than it was last year? And do you think it will be better than it was last year? What do you think, Dan?
I think 100%. The biggest problem that I saw with this the Bevel Patricia era is none of our guys really got separation other than Marvin Hall. Everyone was just kind of like possessive and all that. But now we got guys who can kind of like do everything. You got Tyler Williams, who's kind of like an all-around kind of guy. You got Perriman, who's just deep threat and kind of intermediate receiver. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's can kind of be both a normal receiver, play slot outside, and even be a gadget player. And then you got Cephas, who's a good possession player. You got Hawkinson, who's supposedly like this next big tight end who I'm really liking right now. And then you already got the explosive run game. I think scheme-wise, the team can also just be better. With Campbell saying we want to pound the rock, that's something we did not do in the last 2 regimes. I'm very excited because as we've seen from the Ravens and 49ers, a running game wins games, man. And with Lynn being a heavy run guy and Campbell wanting to be a heavy run guy, I'm not scared about the offense regressing. I think it will get better.
100%. Shout out to my man Kale in the building. He says no games have been played, but you have to have vision before winning. Winning does not start on the field; it materializes on the field. Y'all not listening. That man in there preaching. Y'all not listening. He says the winning don't start on the field; it materializes on the field. And so a lot of times, if you go into it, and I think a lot of the players in the last 3 years was just defeated. They didn't like who was in charge. They wanted him gone, and they wasn't finna give you nothing so they can get him up out of here. Now, for me, I think this offense can be special. And I think it has opportunity to do things a little bit different because I can see us changing it up from game to game where a team comes in and think, oh, we finna shut this run down, and here we go. They're throwing the ball down the field. Or a team is saying, oh, they're trying to do all this intermediate short route stuff. We finna kill that, and we're running it. I love those options. Like I said, I just wonder if he's going to be able to find that healthy line of balance. Now, I have tried to use the force. I really have. But sometimes the force don't work. That's why there's a dark side. And you have to make sure that people don't go to the dark side. But, me being the number one hopium dealer, followed by my second competition in Dos Dion, because Dos Dion is a hopium dealer too. I put them on the chain line because when you're dealing out hope, it can be a dangerous game. But the hope only comes from me being objective on what I see, right? Like we could potentially have a good year and lose our offensive coordinator and lose our defensive coordinator. This is very possible. Right? Like, seriously. So these little things makes a difference to me and from what I can tell. Now, let's go through and look at some of these other questions. I want to knock these out before we get to the people. Which I already asked you about with the Lions offense being more explosive under Lynn, but I'm gonna get more in depth. Do you see the Lions offense being more explosive under Anthony Lynn?
100%. We got all the pieces. We got year 3 Hawk. We got speed everywhere. I mean, the only slow receiver the Lions really have is Quin Cephas, and maybe a bit Amon-Ra, but I think Amon-Ra plays way faster in his 40 time shows. But we got so much players that can do everything. Amon-Ra can play outside slot. Cephas can play number 2 in slot as well. Perriman can be a deep threat, but he can also be a normal player. Williams can do everything. You got Swift, who can be a pass catcher, blocker, and run guy, and Williams the same. We got so many players you can do so many different roles, and we got a quarterback like Jared Goff who can just do everything as well. I mean, sure, he isn't Matthew Stafford. Like, he's not going to throw a deep ball and just wow us with his throw, but he's still super, super good. I mean, that's just the thing. I mean, for example, like, I think I saw like some person in the chat, I think it was Matthew Stafford Burner, saying we have no talent out there.
Right.
I disagree. Tyra Williams has had 650 yards and 4 touchdowns in every season since his 1,000-yard season. Perriman has size and speed and can do and has done some pretty good damage. He was with 30-pick Winston, and he had honestly an amazing year in Tampa Bay. And Amon-Ra, he was one of the better players at USC. So, I mean, I don't think this is going to be like top 10 offense or whatever, but I think we can honestly be pretty dang explosive. The problem I think people look at is people forget Tyra Williams because he isn't a number 1. A good example of I think what this offense is going to be is the 2017 Rams. There was not a number one receiver in the 2017 Rams. Rams House can tell me this.
Talk to him. I tried to point that out. Like, who was these number 1 receivers when they went to the Super Bowl? Go ahead, go talk to him though.
Yeah, they had the bust Robert Woods, who Buffalo fans will remember. He was really a nothing burger there. Cooper Kupp, who was a reach, and Tyler Higbee, a random 4th round pick from college that a college I've never heard a single good player coming from. And they had at the time, I believe, Todd Gurley had a down year because of Jeff Fisher. So they had no hope with that team. And what happens? They go to the playoffs. Their O-line becomes 6th in the nation. Fun fact, they didn't even have a receiver reach 900 yards that year. Yet they went to the playoffs. So we had three elite receivers. Well, not elite because of Amendola, but we had 3 great receivers, and we got 9 wins in 3 years. So don't tell me that we need hugely stars. We need team with chemistry and depth at that. All is good.
Y'all Dan warming up. Y'all done got him warmed up now. Don't do that. Don't do that to him, Dan. They not ready for that kind of truth. See, this is the thing. We like to pop those blue pills and stay in la la land. You know, when Morpheus showed up and said you can take the red pill and see the real reality in which you live in, or the blue pill and stay here in la la land, a lot of people chose to dream, right? They wanted to stay there and they did not trust the process. But you know what's funny? That 91 team didn't have no superstar receivers like that. Nope, we didn't have that. Wasn't no 1,000-yard receivers on that 91 team, and they went to the NFC Championship game with a backup quarterback. Oh, wait, they had Barry. That's what you're going to say, right? Okay. Okay. And you want to tell me they had this defense, right? Yeah. They ran the ball because the head coach, Wayne Fonts, understood that if I'm going to win these games, I need to control the clock. So he ran the ball and set it up for his quarterback to succeed with short routes, and it worked. That's what they have to do now. History will repeat itself when people fail to learn from its past. Troy says, our receivers are jokes. No hater here. I just look to keep building and take what comes. Hopium mess with your dopamine to be satisfied with a 7-10 season. Y'all ain't finna keep coming for the hopium. That's all right. Hopium is a very good deal. We all need hope, and don't you dare try to gun it down, okay? All right. Hope is what get a lot of people through things. That dude live says, has everyone else noticed we are receiving more criticism than any other regime we've had prior in year one? Usually prior to the season, we get no light, good or bad. We get looked over pretty weird. It's funny. It's funny to me how is a difference. Receivers are far from a joke. Our receivers will be better than Galladay was last year, right? Because we only got 5 games out of him, and everybody's swerving down. We lost something. Have you seen St. Brown, Adam play in college? Sometimes they are the best players on the field in their game. Yeah, especially Adams. When I look at Adams, I ask myself one question. Is who you going against so trash that you made them look trash? Yes, that's the way I measure if you're good or not. So a lot of times when I see these small-time guys, I literally ask myself, are you playing above their skill level? And if the answer is yes, is it leaps and bounds above? And it's yes, I know you're a football player, right? This is how people like Darius Leonard get slipped through the cracks, and Bobby Wagner slipped through the cracks, and some of these other notable players, how John Randall goes undrafted, right? Because people try to be the smart guy in the room, and you don't need to be the smart guy in the room. You just got to ask yourself what the film say, and does the film hold up? So for me, I get what you're saying, but to me, I'm looking at St. Brown. I know I'm looking at Adams as one of those guys that a lot of fans say that he can make the team. But to me, St. Brown and Quintez Cephas in the slot. Oh my God. I don't know how you handle this. I don't.
So excited.
I don't know how you listen.
It's a good problem to have.
Right. If you come up on this, and I can send Tyrell Williams down the field, I can send Rashard Perriman down the field because you don't came up. Or let's say, for example, I want to break it on 3 levels. I got my man running back out the backfield for a swing route. I got the tight end on a 5-yard curl, and then I got everybody else running inside routes with the guys going out deep. It's a lot of problems on every level for you to figure out. And I just don't think people know how to get excited for what that looks like. Like, just picture Cooper Kupp. Matter of fact, forget Cooper Kupp. Go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You don't have any idea how crazy it is that your slot receiver is Antonio Brown. Like, that's how I look at Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, he could be the Antonio Brown of the slot, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's going to be hard on people. So, I get it. Y'all don't want the hopium, but I'm here. I'm here to give you hope, and I'm here to give you facts based on an objective view. That's all it is. I ain't doing nothing else.
Well, and like I saw another person kind of talk about this. The Rams, the prior season, were very similar to us. They had the worst defense in 2016. I mean, not the worst defense, the worst offense at 32, and a 23rd ranked defense. Who says the Lions can't do that? I mean,
oh my God,
we haven't even played a snap.
Talk to him. Talk to him. You know what? Hold on. Let me set you up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and girls, all of ages. Prepare yourself for the den. Talk your talk.
Okay. So first off, the Rams, I mean, I saw someone out here come and say they had a great defense. The Rams did not have a great defense before Goff came in and had his crazy year. They had the 23rd ranked defense and the 32nd ranked offense. To an extent, they were practically just like us, except maybe you switch offense and defense. But our offense was still dreadful too. The Lions can still totally achieve this. The same thing happened with San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan. Does no one remember that Kyle Shanahan was on the hot seat and people were calling for him to be fired before they went to the Super Bowl in that 3rd year? That they just, it can happen. Teams can build. And our defense, you cannot tell me it's the same defense as last year. Our D-line now includes Michael Brockers, Aleem McNeil, Levi Onzurike. I hope I said that one right. And and now we even got Julian Okwara healthy. Now we got Trey Flowers. Now we got Romeo Okwara. We have a lot more pass rushers than we did before that can definitely help out. We got new linebackers such as Alex Anzoni and my man Derek Barnes. We got new secondary players, Quentin Dunbar. We got who's definitely going to be an upgrade over Trufant. You can't tell me that Dunbar is going to be any worse than Trufant. Then we go on another cornerback depth and Fitu Milifilon. I'm just going to call him Iffy. And they played. These are different players. The team is not the same as last year. I'm not saying they're going to go worst to first like the Niners, but this is a team that can easily get 8 wins, and I think it's almost guaranteed 5 wins. The last regime had 3 wins with Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, Amendola, all these players with the exact same team. The only difference is we just lost some receivers. That's literally all we lost. Receivers. The Browns had OBJ and Jarvis Landry, and they sucked. The Browns are another team. The Browns got themselves. The Browns had all these superstars. They had OBJ, Jarvis Landry, David Njoku. They had Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. I mean, I can't even name more. They even had guys like Myles Garrett. Yet they went 6-10 with Freddie Kitchens. A coach and a new O-line is what they get. They get Kevin Stefanski, a coach who is competent instead of Freddie Kitchens. They get an O-line. Oh, what happens? Baker Mayfield has an even better year than his rookie year. The O-line, they get Jedrick Wills and Jack Conklin. It's quite similar to us getting Penei Sewell and even already having a top tackle in Decker. It can happen. To say it's ridiculous to say our team's just going to suck next year, it's just ridiculous and has no factual statistical reality. You have to look at it as
Don't give him no more. Don't give him no more. Just stop right there. Don't give him no more. If you need to know why you should be subscribing to this channel, it's because you're going to get that level of content, that level of well thought process put out there that you can't argue with it. And the worst part about it is everything he said, show me where there's a lie. Show me the lie. Show me where he said something that's just not true. Show me where you feel like you got him beat. You did your research and it's not there. I'm literally listening to this and I got my pom-poms with my popcorn because I'm having a good old time as he goes on this rant explaining to you why there's a certain way of thinking that does not have to apply to this team. You want to know why I'm subscribed to him? You want to know why he's on this show talking with me? It's because of stuff like that. Piece by piece, he's breaking down all of the haters and the people who say we can't do this and can't do that. And the worst parts about it is as you go through and you look at each one of those parts, these teams are showing signs that there are certain things that need to happen for them to win. Because now all of a sudden, when everybody had Lamar Jackson as the MVP until he lost, and then now he ain't got no receivers. You see how that works? We have to stop this as fans. Now, that dude live pointed out something that I think is 100% true. He said, Detroit Lions fans make me mad. Sometimes Quin Trichard era, our draft is trash. 9 wins in 2.5 years. And Campbell Holmes era, best draft in a decade. We won't win more than 3 games. Huh? See, it's like math. 1 + 1 is 2, and this is not adding up. It's just not adding up. Dan, don't give them no more. They want more. They're going to have to subscribe to you. That's how we're going to do it. They're going to have to subscribe to you. All right.
All right.
Dr. Detroit says, oh, yeah, Luke, I'm going to take a mortgage out and bet the house on this guy's opinion. Come on. We know more than Vegas. Okay. Oh, I know more than Vegas. Oh, I can show you. I can show you why I know more than Vegas. Because you have to ask yourself the same questions is like, why would somebody make themselves put themselves into a corner to guarantee lose money? Vegas not doing that. So when they made us the underdog in every single game, that was exactly what I knew it was. And I'm like, oh, that's a setup. There's no way we're the underdog in every single game. So they know somebody's going to go out and bet that because there are some people who take these extreme bets. That's an extreme bet. That's like me saying, hey, if I hold your head underwater for 30 minutes, I promise you when I pull you up, you can breathe again. Don't worry about it. You'll grow gills. Yeah, nobody's taking that bet. The same way, I don't think nobody should take the bet that we're going to be the underdog in all of these games. They didn't say that we were going to lose all of them. They said we are the underdogs. This is the way that things are worded that people miss. Just putting it out there.
Just putting it out there. We're going to be winning or anything. I just said we're going to be improved.
I don't know how people don't understand this. I don't understand how they don't understand how we're not going to be improved. Let me ask you this: what linebackers could surprise for the Detroit Lions? Like, do you see like giving us a surprise at the linebacker position?
Well, I think I would have said Barnes, but I think everybody in the chat just praised Barnes already, so can't really do that one. But I would say Jelani Tavai, like I said earlier. I mean, his rookie season was actually pretty underrated. He had a 69% completion percentage, and he didn't allow a single touchdown. And he had some game-winning plays for us. I don't think people really remember this. He already forced a fumble. He forced that game-winning fumble versus the Chargers. And what everyone says, what's the problem to Tavai? What's the problem to Tavai? Well, it's because he was kind of chunky and he was slow. The man lost 17 pounds. The guy is now moving faster, according to Aaron Glenn, and he's making the moves. He's putting in the work. He's showing the effort to play better. I'm not saying he's going to come in and be Devin White or something and absolutely pop off, but he can definitely be a surprise player that I think could maybe just like rotate in, because I don't think he's definitely going to be Jamie Collins and Derek Barnes, but I think he can be like a player who, hey, that's a good play. We should definitely keep this guy around.
All right, Dr. Detroit says, if you're more than Vegas, why are you not rich? Come on, man. Who said I'm not rich? Who said? How are you checking? Right, you see how that works. Has anybody ever looked at Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos? If you saw either of them two and you didn't know their face, you would just think they were just regular old people. Rich people don't show money. They live it. They don't need to show it. Did you know Bill Gates drove the same car he had from college for years before he upgraded to a newer car? And that's because the car that he had copped out, and then he got it all like repaired up and made it like a antique for him to keep. Did you know that? Did you know that he wears the same shoes for a whole year before he buy a new pair? Bill Gates. Jeff Bezos does the same thing. Rich people don't got to show money. What do you think this is? What will make you think I'm broke out here in these streets? I'm just saying. Rich people don't do that. They don't move that way. But I appreciate you for counting that bank account, though. Thank you. All right. Listen, I think in terms of linebackers, I'm just going to be honest. The guy that I'm expecting to take the next leap, because I need him to, no other reason other than I need him to, it has to be Jamie Collins. I was disgusted at what I saw from Jamie Collins. The lack thereof, the laziness of not wanting to take on blockers, not wanting to blow the hole up like he was supposed to, taking bad aim. It just was irritating. I need him to be better. I want for him to be better. And if he is not better, we got a problem. We got a problem. And that's what scares me. All right. I need to know that he can do it. But he's the guy that I think can surprise a lot of people and really become more, than what he's already been for us. So far, what he's been for us is a laughing joke, in my opinion. There's nothing entertaining about what's been going on with him. Vegas is not in the business of predicting. They are in the business of money. Don't tell it to rich people. They take those bets because the odds are in their favor, and they write the odds, dude. What? Okay. Yep, they know somebody's going to take that. The odds of us being the underdog in all 17 games. What are the odds of that? Think to yourself that question. What are the odds of us really being the underdog in all 17 games?
It's just a favor. Vegas is not a guaranteed thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they probably have a lot more statistics than even I have, but it's not like it's guaranteed. Vegas also probably doesn't get everything right 100% of the time. I mean, it's not like they're omnipotent beings who know the future. I don't know. It's probability. It's not a for sure thing, Dr. Detroit. There's no such thing as a probability. It's statistics. Statistics also said Matthew Stafford wasn't going to have a crazy year in 2019, but then he did. Statistics also said he was going to have a great year after having a great year in 2019. No, then he had a drop-off year. Statistics aren't like a guaranteed thing. So there's probability. It's not a guaranteed thing. I also see how being rich has anything to do with statistics and being correct. I mean,
well, no, he's responding to it because I told him he's trying to count my bank account. But the problem that he's missing is he says you have a job. Most rich people do. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what to tell him. Most rich people have a job. Like Jay-Z has a job. Beyonce has a job. Like most rich people have. Like Oprah, she works, right? She still works. She still has a job. I don't know nothing. If I can't teach you nothing, I feel sorry. Okay, I learn something from people in here every single day, and you should strive to do the same. But I can assure you that rich people still work. Okay. So just FYI. But I'm just saying. And he called me a moron. That hurts. Ouch. No.
Sticks and stones, man.
It's all love in here, man. Listen. The idea that somebody could perceive something about me, I just laugh. Rich people don't have to show money. They don't. It's just how it works. I mean, there's a lot of people who are rich. Timberland is rich. Justin Timberlake is rich. I can go outside of that. Louis Vuitton, the Louis Vuitton brand estate, the people who run Hennessy, they are rich. Elon Musk is rich. He still works. You think they just sitting at home chilling? No. But okay. I appreciate the moron. No, most rich people do not have a job. They do not trade their time for money. They use their money to make more money. Econ 101. Okay.
What's your definition of job?
Okay. You think the funny thing is this? Most people don't understand this, and I'll tell you this. When it comes to finances, all right, let me just do this. When it comes to finances, the thing that people tend to miss when it comes to finances is no matter how you change the terminology, you're still trading your time for something. Whether you're your own boss or you're doing certain things, you're still trading your time because you got to put that time in to move your money. That's still your time. And so no matter how you slice it, buddy, trust me, you'll be surprised. And I'll be more than willing to teach if you wouldn't listen. Just food for thought. Let's get to this next question. Don't take it personal, Dr. Detroit. Don't take it personal. Just I don't know how you can count my books. That's crazy. It said, no, you don't understand what rich is, Luke. Okay, I don't understand it. You won. I'm never gonna try to win no debate with nobody who has their view on that. All right. Let's get to this next question. Who are the three most underrated Lions on Lions players right now?
Amani Oruwariye.
Amani Oruwariye. Yep. Oruwariye.
Yeah, there you go. I'm just going to call him Manio. Jonah Jackson, and then I think another player that's kind of being underrated on our team is Julian Okwara as well. In terms of Amanio, I've already stated the stats for him, and he had like 83 targets, by the way, Dr. Detroit, when you asked that thing about Okuda. And the reason I also kind of mentioned Julian Okwara is the guy had a better pass rush win rate than Chase Young while playing at Notre Dame, and he had the same pressure rate. We didn't get to see any Julian Okwara last year. I'm really excited to see the guy, and I don't really understand how people aren't more excited to see him. But, yeah.
Okay. I think the three players that I would say are the most underrated three players coming in to 2021, I'm going to say, yeah, it has to be Amani. Amani has to be probably one up there, but Tracy Walker adds into it as well. And then the guy that nobody is talking about because we drafted 2 D tackles, but I still am a huge fan of him, is John Pennicini. That guy to me is something different. And the fact that he can take up space and do the things he can is spectacular. One Pride 40 says, Luke, didn't you compare Julian Okwara to Sam Achiuwa? I think I did a floor ceiling and said that his floor is this and his ceiling is that. And I believe Sam Achiuwa was one of the people that was in comparison. So yes, you would be correct. No, you don't understand Rich, Luke. You don't understand what Rich is, Luke. Okay.
Dr. Detroit Rich?
I can't. Dr. Detroit think money grows on trees. Rich people just use money to plant trees and get money to grow. Listen, wow. I cannot explain to people who just don't get it. I just can't. I'm not going to do it. I refuse. Why did they get their money, Dr. Detroit? That's a good question. Dr. Detroit, what is your definition of rich? That's another one. Rich people spend their money to get their money back. Okay. It says, hold up. I work for a company that produces more millionaires than dudes in Silicon Valley. Trust me, there is work. Stop it. Hey, listen. I met this dude, true story. I met this guy. I went downtown Detroit, and he was working in the what they call him, a parking lot attendant. He's a parking lot attendant. He's an older guy, and I'm just sitting up there, and I park my car, and I'm like, I gotta walk down for this stupid meeting, and so I'm walking down, and he was like teaching me about stocks and all these other stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, he knows all this stuff, right? Had no clue who I was talking to. No BS. About a week or two after that, I'm watching the news, and I see this parking attendant guy sitting here, and he's working, and the whole story is meet one of Detroit's millionaires, and I'm like, what? Millionaire? And this guy was a millionaire. Every penny he walked past, he picked up and he invested. Every coin he saw, he invested, and he worked and invest that money, and he kept doing that to build it up. And then he started some other things that he worked at to keep this money going, and he had everything signed over to his kid's name. So the next time I went back to that parking attendant, I opened my ears and I heard everything. Because of him, I managed to start my kids' retirement fund now, their college funds now, because he taught me things that I didn't even know were possible. And I'm just putting it out there to show you that don't be misled by the idea of rich people, because a lot of times it's one of the things you can do. It says you are financially free to do as you please, no bills, no debt. That's not rich. Nobody had this is America. Nobody is financially, I'm gonna leave it alone. Let's go to this next question. But that's a true story. I met this guy, and he really was a millionaire, and he taught me some stuff, and now I teach other people what he taught me. It says, which rookie will have the most instant impact and why? What do you think, Dan?
I don't know. There's a lot of players who I think could have an impact, but I think it's honestly going to be our first round pick for once in Penei Sewell. For one, we already got ourselves a pretty good O-line, but a big part is I also like our own line coach. Our own line, Frank Ragnow in his rookie year, I mean, we all loved him, but he allowed the most pressures out of a rookie guard that year. And then Hank Fraley comes in, and Ragnow becomes a top 5 center. Taylor Decker, we all kind of made fun of him after he got that contract extension, and he comes in and just explodes. Jonah Jackson looks like a veteran at times at left guard. I think Steele will develop well and be an instant impact tackle.
I mean, okay. I think I'm gonna go a little bit different for you. I think the person who's going to have the most instant impact is another person we're not talking about, is Julian Arcor. I read an article, and this whole entire offseason has been about, I got to beat my brother. There is no greater competition than beating your big brother. I promise you. My big brother was a phenomenal baseball player. He can hit that thing like nobody's business. I would practice for days trying to learn how to hit the ball, how he hit it. And I remember the first time I managed to hit the ball so far that he couldn't catch it. That was the greatest feeling ever. That level of competition goes so freaking far, and it's amazing. And to me, I expect for him to have a really big season, because he's not just in competition for his job. He wants to beat Big Bro. And I think that has a lot to do with him having success. Now, the Detroit says you must want to watch Dave Ramsey or the Money Guys or Jazz Wealth. Any of those will help you understand. They all working. That's why they're on YouTube. And that's why they're in studios and on the radio. They're working. So just food for thought. Most underrated player is Goff. I can see that. Most underrated is Goff, Walker, and Hockenson. Okay. Rich people by NFL teams. Okay.
Dang, there's only 32 rich people in the world, man.
Right. right. Because I'm telling you right now, if only rich people buy NFL teams, then the world is in trouble. Oprah, you think you got money, but you ain't got money because the NFL, you didn't buy an NFL team, Oprah. Okay? Your brand is not legit. Just saying. What can I say? I'm having fun with you, Dr. Detroit. Don't take it personal, bro. Do not take it personal. Rich is the owner of the company. They still work, but they're making all the profits. Listen, Troy, I can follow your logic more than anything. Look, the parking lot attendant sounds like some people where I'm from. Yeah, this guy, he's an older gentleman. I don't even know if he's still alive because I ain't been over there in a while, but he was an older gentleman, and he was on the news. He was a millionaire. He was sitting in his little booth supposed to be watching our cars, but he was sitting in his booth with the paper doing stocks and other stuff, and he was a millionaire. He literally had like paid off his house through this process. He had did all these things, and he had it all set up for his grandkids and stuff like that. So I was, it was just one of the things I look at. At this point, people, we're gonna take y'all questions. Any questions you have for me or Dan, please put it in the chat, and we'll get to them. And have some fun with it. Again, Dr. Detroit is not personal. Please don't take this personal. We having fun, buddy. All right, it's okay. Let's see. No, rich people buy a lot of stuff. Actually, let me leave that alone. No wealthy people buy teams. Rich people play. Talk to him again, Craig. Yo, joining in late, but you here, and I appreciate you for being here. Dan, let me ask you this question, because the questions are gonna start coming in soon, and I want to kind of get prepared for it. But as you get yourself together and get yourself prepared, tell the people what they can expect from your YouTube channel.
So, in terms of what my channel is, it's kind of like what the game is. It's analytics. It's mostly statistics and all that. I'm not a huge film guy like you are. I try to do that a bit, but I mostly try to go in stats and try to use both stats and history on why I think this will be here. So my kind of things will be like, I will be using ESPN, advanced stats, such as Pro Football Reference, and PFF for like advanced stats as well, if I can find them. So it's definitely going to be like a history / stats channel. I'm going to be talking about predictions. I'll still have that normal things. Like I still have predictions on the record and all of that. But if you're looking for film, that's not going to be really me. I'm going to put that in sometimes, but I'm definitely just kind of like, if you want analytics, this is the place to go. And I also really want to be like a big community guy as well. I want to be able to talk to my fans about anything as well too.
Yeah, like I said, I know you don't have many videos, but we talk a lot in the Discord. I think more people should join that Discord. First of all, let me just tell you, between you and Ram's house, and I think EA, which I think EA might be buffed up. I can't prove it. Talking about Lamar Jackson, I mean, that in and of itself is entertainment. That was some hilarious stuff. Oh my God. If y'all not in my Discord to see some of this stuff, we in Discord talking about movies, talking about music, talking about surprisingly finances. The finance one be lit lately too, especially with the cryptocurrency and stuff. But we're doing all kind of things, and when you go to his channel, as his channel grows, you're going to see a person who's going to give you analytics on top of common sense. You cannot beat this. Analytics on top of common sense. He's not here to try to prove anything to you. He's here to show you what the analytics show and what they give you based on common sense. That's what makes his channel special, and that's why I was excited to do this with him, because I know he's going to do things in a way that makes sense. Dr. Detroit, I love you too, bro. Trust me, I never take anything personal. I have fun, and that's what we do. What is the worst thing that can happen in 2021 for the Detroit Lions? Oh, this is too easy. I'll let you go first, Dan, but this is too easy. What's the worst thing that can happen for the in 2021 for the Detroit Lions?
Matt Patricia returning. That's it. Not really.
That's the worst way. Well, if that happens, that's beyond worse. That's almost like Armageddon. So no, but seriously though, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had to say the worst thing is Jared Goff getting injured for the season, because at that point now you're talking about going to Tim Boyles, and at that point it just sucks, because now they know that you're going to be one-dimensional, that you're going to be run first and hard. So Left Out Loud, Luke's second channel is about to be Luke G's money review. I like that. I thought about doing a second channel, just dealing with real life stuff and giving people a place to vent about real life stuff, but where they can, remain anonymous. So I thought about doing something like that, because it's about making sure that you unload some of these emotions that you have, especially with my approach to the mental health now and things like that. So, yep. Let's see. Blue and Silver starter, Sewell, Levy, McNeil, and possibly Amon-Ra in the slot, and possibly Iffy at the safety or big slot DB. Interesting. Them bums work together. Yes, they do. Because most of them ain't really what you think they are. Do you think with Michael Brocker saying the communication is better, that the defensive played better? Hands down. What do you think, Dan? Like, to me, this is a no-brainer, 100%.
Easy. I mean, one of the biggest reasons is people get confused. I mean, the biggest example of the lack of communication in the last regime was the fact that there was 10 players on the field twice in the Patricia regime. People would talk about how complicated it was. I mean, Jeff Okuda was out here saying, I don't know how I look at film, man. I don't know how much of that is Patricia just being a confusing man. So I think this will definitely help out the team.
One Pride 40 says, this is an off topic. What did you think of the Julio Jones trade? And also, did the Titans rob the Falcons? Let me be honest. Again, I got blew up with DMs from people saying, like, all they gave up was this, Luke. We could have gave up that for him. No, we could not. There's no way of knowing that they was willing to trade him in conference for that same deal. In conference to a team that you got to play this year. No, we couldn't have got him for that. That's one. Two, I don't think you wanted to get him for that. Three, okay, the Titans gave up a second, and they gave up I believe it was a future fourth or something like that. So good for them. They got Julio in a sixth. Good for them. You got to have somebody to throw the ball to him. So I don't care. They're going to still be run first. So at this point, it's like, what are you doing? He's just there to try to get people to back up, because right now they're stacking the box to stop the run. That's all it is. I don't think no team got robbed. I think it was a fair trade for both of them. And it's an even better trade for the Falcons, because I believe they got the Titans to eat most of that cap hit. So that's cool. That's cool with me. Is Brockers the best D tackle?
I think he means D end.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what is that supposed to be? Dr. Free Agent to build around we have gotten in the last 10 years. No, I actually think that we have better. I think we've had more comparable people that we've picked up that has worked for us. But it's just about how you use, right? Like, if I give you a knife and you're holding it from the sharp end, you're not very useful at that point, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. So it depends on how he's going to be used. I think, given the value, he might be the best steal we've ever had. A 7th round pick. Mm-hmm. That's pretty decent. I mean, I don't even have. He can bum for all I care. It's a 7th round pick. We gave him a 6 to rent a guy for 5 games, and I lost it because it was like, yo, why are you giving up a pick for a guy when you know he's not going to be here no more? Even if he had to play all the games, it was only going to be him playing like 7 to 6 games, and you gave up a draft pick for it. It didn't make sense. EA is buffed up. Oh, okay. He's funny as hell.
Something else, man.
EA is funny. Dr. Detroit knows about money. Sit back and listen. All right, Benjamin. D tackle D in. Let's see. Yo, it says, yo, we just gonna act like Todd Saxonville Wash ain't our D-line coach. Huh?
Todd Wash is the D-line coach during the Jacksonville 2016 year, where they had one of the best pass rushes in history.
Oh, okay. I see you putting down there, first black man on the net. Okay. The convo we having with Don Capers and Aaron Glenn, he's got to be, man, listen, bro. I don't see how we get worse. I don't. I only see us going up, like that son from Cardi B, and it's up. That's all I can see. It's up. I don't see how we get worse. There are too many pieces out there that make sense to me. Let's see. Statistics are most critical because it manifests long-term habits. Contracts are served based on stats. Best of luck to your analytics, Dan. Hey,
thanks, man.
Appreciate it. I said, I am honored to be a member of the Lamar. We gonna leave Lamar alone. Y'all gonna have me out here like Britney Spears, that family. Leave him alone. Dr. Detroit been on it. Let's see. Losing. Let's see. Dr. Detroit a part of the go along, get along gang. Let's see. Luke G's Discord. Yeah, the Discord is linked in the description. We have fun in it. I have all kind of fun with it. You cannot beat it. Then bring that heat, and it's much appreciated. 100%, man. Sewell gets hurt. He said that's the worst thing that can happen for us. Sewell gets hurt. That is another big one. Whew. That's a huge one. God, that because you're talking about having a full line. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to you, Jimbo G. Hope all is well with you and the family. Hope they doing well. You always keep it positive and check on me, so I appreciate you in ways you don't know. he said Dr. Detroit is part of the mafia. Shout out to the Den. Appreciate it. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss nothing now, man, because a brother got to get up way too early. The Rams, on the other hand, they should have gone after him. Let's see.
Do you guys have any draft picks? Why would you trade for him there? I don't know.
You got to look at it. What he's saying is this. He's saying that if you're going to go out and sell out like you did to get Stafford, where you gave up the 3 draft picks in the replacement quarterback, why not give him his big deep threat target and keep the underneath stuff? I get it, because I don't think the run game going to be as strong with the Rams this year, but I get what he's saying. I really do get what he's saying. Let me see. Luke, Titans gave Falcons a 6th rounder. Okay, I knew it was like a second and a late round pick. Wait, anyway, ain't that what I said? I said the Titans give up the 6th and second. I thought I could have said it wrong. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sleepy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all people. It'd be a long day like that. Let me see. Lou, shout out to you and your family. Mine's is good. I hope yours is good. Who is that on the pair with you, Lou? Oh, let me show you who this is really quick. Gotta do that. Gotta show you who it is one more time for the people. This is somebody who is the newest YouTuber in here talking about the Detroit Lions and just in general talking in football. So I always want to make sure I point them out. We're talking to the Analytics Den. You will see him in the chat quite often, having very intriguing debates and making sure that before he talks to you, he fact checked his stuff. You can't beat it. That dude live says, check out my question. Did I miss your question? How did I miss?
You said, how much of an impact do you believe the energy in the locker room will affect on-field play and competition throughout the season?
Oh my God, boy! Let me tell you. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all something. So I'm gonna show you how impact can be, and it can come from players or the coach. Just gonna show you. All right. I remember the 49ers were really struggling. They had all kinds of problems, and then a guy named Jim Harbaugh came in. And the first thing that he did was he created an atmosphere that was fun and infectious. He was doing crazy things, running down the sideline. Same thing as Pete Carroll, running down the sideline with his players, doing the workouts with them, stretching and everything else, being an example, right? And that impact spread it like wildfire. There were people that really were not that good, but the confidence level was so high, they were going to succeed anyway. He had a way of making sure that what he did was infectious. And so when I see that, I'm telling you, it goes a long way, because guess what? If we lose 1 or 2 games, we call in team meetings. What is wrong with us? What are we not getting together? Let's go over this again. Whereas under Patricia, it was like, bro, how can we get him out of here? What do we got to do to make sure he gets fired? Like, how does this work? Right? Like, do I need to go talk to somebody? Just don't play good. Got it. I got it. We're going to get him out of here. And I think when you bring that kind of energy, yes, it changes the way things work and move. So I think it's going to be very infectious. Very, very, very infectious. All right. We hit the 1.5 hour mark. Let's get into the final thoughts. Let me take this down so y'all can see who our guest is. Again, he is linked in the description. New Lions YouTuber who I think deserves some credit for getting it started. And I think he's going to be somebody that you fall in love with. And I got to be honest. I think you can appreciate what he's going to bring to the table. So if you want to start to get some more Lions content, because to be honest with you, you can never have enough, right? Like I can't. I'm always trying to find more. This is where you want to do it, okay? This is where you want to get it done, and this is how you want to get it done. And so you want to make sure that you're doing just that, okay? You're getting it done and you're subscribing to them. So make sure you are part of this movement, because as more and more people come along, us old timers may be moving out the way, man. We're going to do this for so long, you know? So make sure you show support to every person, man. That's the benefit of being a part of this pride. This pride is different. It's unlike any other fan base. We support each other. We support each other through every chance that we get. We and it's family. We can fuss and we can fight and we can do everything else under the sun. But the reality is this: we are pride first, and that's where I think the beauty of this movement of having these new Lions YouTubers come into play. Give the people your final thoughts. Make sure you plug your channel. It's very important that you do that so they can know how to find you. It is linked in the description. So there's no way possible that a person cannot find it. So hold on, let me answer this one question. So what's going on with Gurley? Gurley trying to get a long-term deal. He's willing to take a cheap deal where it averages out to a cheaper amount, but he wants at least a 2 to 3 year deal. And the Lions are basically trying to get him that 1 year, prove it ticket. And he's pushing back against it. But in the company, what he's really hoping for is that somebody get a running back injured, and then he can try to go over there and use them as leverage to come and play. But it's not going to work. So he better sign, because if not, he may not be playing come week 1. Okay. We've seen this one before. Okay. We've seen this one before. Do not be that guy getting caught for the okie doke. What are your final thoughts for the people, Dan? Talk to the people.
So yeah, I'm very excited for the Lions' future, and I'm just excited for the channel. I mean, it was a great honor to be on the show. I've been watching this show for about a year, and you're actually a big reason why I even wanted to start the channel.
Oh, man, don't do that to me. Don't have me up here crying. I'm too grown to be doing this crying stuff. Okay. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's just all about analytics and anything. And I also really want to be go with what my community wants. So every video I ask any video suggestions that you guys want, and I'll go ahead and I'll try to figure out about what that topic and put my own opinion on it, and I'll do a video on it. So I'm really excited for this community. It's going to be all but bunch of fun, and I even call it the Den. So you guys can all join in my little den for Lions content, and I'm very excited about it.
100%. I'm trying to figure out how to do the meet and greet and do it to where I don't get myself in any particular trouble. I got a bigger plan at work here, and I'm making sure I work the mess out of that plan. So I don't want to mess my plan up. Troy says pride first, 100%. If you're trying to win now, are you going after a 150-pound rookie or at one of the best receivers of all time who's still in his prime? The cap space could be made easy in a few different ways. All right. Craig says, great show, fellas. My man Bo says, hit that like on your way out, you bums. I ain't mad at you. C. Allen, man, welcome to the show. He says Detroit versus everybody, 100%. Again, that's his channel, so y'all can see it. As you see, I'm subscribed to it. I don't know why my bell is not lit up. I don't know if it's supposed to be lit up or not, but I am on a notification squad, so I see when he drops something. But YouTube works in a very strange way, and y'all know me. I can never, ever end the show without it being on a positive note, because that's what we do. We end things on a positive note because we have fun, and then you make sure you remember it's all love, okay? And that's really what it boils down to. All right, so here's my positive quote for the day. Strangely enough, this one right here goes to the part of it. It says, healing yourself can be offensive to people that benefit from your brokenness. I'm going to bring y'all home. Don't worry about it. Healing yourself can be offensive to people that benefit from your brokenness. See, some of us only go to the doctor when we're sick. We may even go to the dentist when we have a toothache, but we are too afraid to go and seek help when we're having emotions and things that are going on that's out of our control. See, there's somebody standing there watching you, enjoying you refuse your healing. See, that brokenness makes them feel better. It benefits them. It gives them a reason to look at life a little different, because your brokenness saves them from having to face their own brokenness. I'm going to bring it back to you one more time. Healing yourself can be offensive to the people that benefit from your brokenness. See, here's the problem. Why allow someone to benefit off of your brokenness? Your brokenness is your first signal that you are trying and are in need of an oil change. We all need it. Your car need it. We need it. We need these things to reset us and get us in a place of peace. But when you have people who are around you, who are not for you, who are simply there to see you fall flat on your face so they can feel better about themselves, then at that point, you are simply choosing to live in your brokenness. I ask you to join me and making sure that you get your oil change. I'm asking you to join me and making sure that you heal yourself and become more offensive to those people who seem to take joy in your brokenness. You may be in a war by yourself right now, but if you just open your mouth up to somebody, I promise you this, that you may find somebody who is willing to be in that war with you. And that person is me right now. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you, Analytics Den, aka the Den, for joining in and being a part of the show. I will be bringing him back. 100% have to do it. It's a must. And if you have not subscribed to him, please do so. He should be already at 100, and I want to make sure that we as a pride get him to that mark and watch as he produce content that you can get with. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you follow these wise words. Don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.